Poll pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilmember Leon.
Here.
Councilmember Carr.
He went
He went out the front door, but I don't know if he left.
He's under the weather. Councilman Carr left.
Oh.
Councilmember DeRico.
Here.
Councilmember Wells.
Here.
Mayor Nolan.
Here.
Before we begin tonight, on behalf of the council, I would like to officially recognize your amazing 11 years of service to
Thank
our
you.
board.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad. Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks, Pat. I just want to say thank you to everybody, past and present councils, obviously. I know we're going to be in good hands with Rick. I always said he was one of the best mayors we ever had. His success is ours going forward. You got a lot of talent up here, including Doug, who is under the weather and he left. You just got to work together. I really believe that every one of you, I enjoy our conversations and friendships. We've only had a year together. I wish we had more, to be honest with you, but it's time to turn the page. It's time to spend more time with my wife and beautiful kids. But thank you for all your support over the years and helping me look better than maybe I really would have been without you. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I'm out.
Up there, so you don't get the mic.
She's got a Mercedes hat on, that's good. Yeah, Oriana wants a pink Mercedes when she's 17, so now you know why I gotta get another job.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Oh yeah, it's on 12. So we got the resolutions.
Oh, you're covering the microphone with your large.
So sorry. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Public portion, that's the first one. Anybody have any questions? Ms. Bucko? It wouldn't be the same without you, come on.
I've been out partying tonight.
Really?
Just
Brian, you're like Brian, you both live on a one-way street, nobody invited us. Lives on the cul-de-sac, I think. Yeah. Okay, so let's, anybody have anything on the resolutions they'd like to take off and talk about separately? Blue Batter, Superintendent DPW, no problem there. Calendar events for the bid. Storm Recovery Trust Fund, Alliance, kind of standard stuff. I don't think anything salacious there. Okay, I'll offer it.
I'll second.
Offer it second. Roll call, please.
Who's second?
Councilwoman Brian and Councilwoman DeRico. They give that one too, it's all good.
Councilmember Brian.
Yes.
Councilmember Carr. Councilmember DeRico.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes, I just would like to say I'm sorry to see you move on. I think we were making some good progress, so.
Absolutely.
100%.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes, please.
Agenda's fine.
We have ordinances, public hearing, and possible adoption. So we're doing a separate hearing for each one, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let's open up the first one. Borough code concerning minimum yard requirements for front decks. Dale, briefly, you want to just, why we did this? Brian's got a party program, so come on.
Basically, it allows people that are lifting and rebuilding their homes in Gravelly and Honeysuckle to go back out to where they were with their patios. I mean, their lots are small. It's especially in Gravelly, it's a private road, so the borough has no. They only maintain the sewer, but they don't maintain the roadway.
Right.
It's all homeowners association, so this actually helps the entire neighborhood in both cases.
So basically, this is something that, another one of the, I think, good ideas that have come out of all the things we've gone through the last couple of years, so we don't have a parade of people having to go to zoning.
Right, one of your many good ideas from your zoning officer. So,
Hey,
it's all.
what? He's pretty good, put something in his file. I'll offer that. Oh, I'm sorry, public hearing.
Well, Mayor Nolan, let me just add that under the municipal land use law, this was referred to the land use board for their review and report. They did submit back a resolution, which is in everyone's packets, which
Okay.
everybody's reviewed. review, that's my understanding. They've indicated that the ordinance is consistent with the master plan as it pertains to the Gravelly Point Bungalow Colony. They have said that as it pertains to the Honeysuckle Bungalow Colony, they don't believe it's consistent with the borough master plan. That was their report to the governing body.
Okay.
So you're aware, and everyone is aware that they reviewed the report.
Anybody in the public? Thank you, Brian. Anybody in the public have any comments?
I would like to speak to that for a
Please, go
moment, because I can't see how two bungalow colonies can operate under two separate sorts of rules.
Okay.
So I don't feel that it would be fair and equitable to exclude honeysuckle, and that we should accept the ordinance as written, which has both properties.
Including honeysuckle.
Exactly.
I would agree with that. Anybody at the table have any
Let me
comments on
just
that?
add to that, under NJSA 40:55E-26, you as the governing body shall review the report, but you may disapprove or change any recommendation by a vote of the majority of the fully authorized membership, and just record in the minutes the reason for not following their recommendation.
So
Which-
we're
which-
perfectly in
which
our
council-
rights to do this? I
and
do,
I
sir.
agree with council with you on this.
Ms. Buckle, anything on this? Or you good? Okay.
I just had one question. You didn't change the building height, 20 feet. Does that doesn't go from the ground, obviously, it's the building.
Dale, you want to speak to that, where it
It's-
starts? And-
Base flood elevation to the middle of the roof. So it does, so say if your ground is elevation 5 down there, or whatever, and the base flood is 11, it starts with an elevation 11. So it could actually be, whatever that distance is, it could be actually be 25, 26 feet above ground, really.
So 2011 is 31. It could be
It's
good.
20 is where the raised.
Right, it starts from the base flood to the middle of the roof.
Okay,
Anything else, Ms. Buckle? You good?
no, not really.
Okay. I'll close the public hearing on that. We need a final reading?
Yes.
Okay, you mind?
So I would like to add ordinance 16-23, an ordinance amending chapter 21-86 of the Borough Code concerning minimum yard requirements for front decks in existing bungalow colonies.
I'll offer that.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Brion,
Yes.
Councilmember D'Arigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes, please.
Ordinance 23 has been properly adopted.
16-25 is permitted parking at public parks. I know I asked the chief at the last meeting, he was okay with this as far as any enforcement. I know we talked about how many of us up here live right near where there's gonna be impacted, and I got no problem with it. Let's for the record, you wanna say what this is changing, Brian, in the park?
Yeah, this is allowing for vehicles to park in the designated parking areas of public parks and public beaches, maintained and operated by the borough between the hours of 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. unless it's otherwise excluded by other sections of the ordinance.
So basically, it removes the ambiguous storm to dust and gives clear cut times.
And previously, you were not allowed to have vehicles overnight. Now you have established hours.
Okay, perfect. Let's open that to the public. At 16-25, permitted parking at public parks.
What are the hours?
What was it, Brian?
5 a.m. to 10 p.m.
So there is no overnight in the parks.
Right after 10 p.m.
Right, so what we were doing, Mayor, in the past, people would complain dust to dawn blooms, obviously as the seasons do.
Sure.
So we were trying to establish, so Joe and his guys could, more clearly enforce it.
We have a hard date. Everyone
Exactly.
complains about parking, and we can't close off two public parks at dusk, and dusk can be 5 o'clock in the wintertime.
Right.
So to allow people to go get something to eat,
Right,
hard
feel that,
legally
yeah.
not get
I don't
to.
think there's a problem with that at all, but maybe I'm wrong. Ex-First Lady, Ms. Noel?
What?
She stuttered.
Thank you, Carol. What parking lots, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to. Are you-
Public-owned, borough-owned parking lots. So yes,
All of
That,
them?
no, that are adjacent to a
that are
park.
adjacent to
So
park.
it is the skate park and Miller Beach,
Correct.
parking lots.
Wait.
Whoa.
Go back to that one again?
Skate
So
park,
it's
Miller
the
Beach.
skate park and Miller Beach?
Right.
Okay.
So you can park there from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, so now, we can't use this skate parking lot to park overnight?
Currently, you can anyway.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
No.
Legally,
Why not?
you can't.
Dawn to dusk.
No, you can't.
always.
Stone to
The ordinance
dust.
said you can't leave it overnight right now.
Right now, the ordinance was you couldn't leave it overnight.
Okay,
And
so,
you couldn't be there after dawn and before dusk, or vice versa.
so anybody that has been getting away with it, you're saying?
Shockingly, yes.
So after 10, that's gonna really affect a few things in our area.
Like what?
Well, one, the VFW use it for overflow if there's a party
We
going on.
mentioned that, we did talk about that.
Okay. Two, people that live on this block alone that don't have parking for certain holidays and things like that use it.
I would tell you
People that
this,
live on the next block that even have harder parking
Right.
use it as well.
I would tell you this, right now, they're actually under a harsher law than the one we're proposing. As,
I get that,
People-
but let's not rewrite it 50 times.
no,
Let's
but my
really
point is,
think
right
about
now,
this.
after 4:30 today, they were breaking the law.
Okay, that's fine, but now, like, you're taking away something for what reason? I
They
get
never
it.
had it to begin with.
Okay,
They were breaking the law to begin with.
I mean, I think that the
Yeah.
reality is enforcement's going to decide.
There's a discretionary
Oh, it's
side of
Christmas,
it.
you know, somebody's here.
We have
on the
given them the
third.
latitude with the current law.
yeah.
There's a discretionary part of it, which is obviously Joe, I'll say Joe, but him and his people are gonna see, oh, okay, there's an event at the VFW and there's 2 cars parked there. I'm betting because of this law, they're not gonna do something they didn't do yesterday.
I wouldn't bet on that. I mean, if it's the law, someone can call and say, why didn't they get a ticket?
But it's
They
the
can
law
do that
now.
now, after
Okay.
4:30.
But that doesn't make it right. If just because they're getting away with it now you're trying to correct
I
it.
think we're actually
And you're
giving them
correcting
more
it
room to
with
do stuff, to
10
be honest with you.
I don't understand what the purpose is. Why then have you not brought up all of the parking lots? I thought that was one of the.
No, it's just
points.
adjacent to public parks, because the other ones shouldn't be there anyway, in theory.
Correct. The other ones do not have an automobile parking lot stipulation.
The other parks have.
The other parking lots, and what's the other parking lots?
Well, the one by Havana.
The Havana
one-
lot
Yeah.
is not touching a public park, therefore it does not have the designation of being closed from dawn to dusk.
Correct. And the one in the back behind where Hennessy's is,
Right.
those
Also-
don't fall under this.
Okay, so what are theirs?
It's about 24 hours, right?
They are 24 hour.
24 hours. You just can't, obviously.
You can't stay there forever.
Correct, it's not like they're renting.
Your overnight parking is allowed.
Yes, but of all parking lots, I get the one by the beach. I mean, you wanna regulate that for,
I got a great idea.
I don't really agree with that one either, but you wanna regulate that because it's next to a beach.
It's already regulated currently.
Okay.
It's already regulated, that's what we're trying to tell you.
We're trying to make the regulations lighter.
So how about the people that have to park in that lot as well? There's a lady, I believe, that parks in there.
She has a special handicap designation sticker to park at that space.
In that spot,
In that
And so
spot.
she could park in there overnight.
Yes.
because of
She
her
has that spot.
affliction.
Okay.
I've never seen Miss Bucko smile when she's pregnant.
I know, but the.
I know she's happy I'm going, but she can't
Exactly,
be happy.
for the people that aren't in the parks at night.
Right, it's gonna be that.
Kids in the park at night, it has nothing to do with the parking. It has to do with the fact that there's no lights in the
Who's talking
park,
about, we're not talking about any of that.
in the park.
Right now, they asked us to give them something more tangible that they could be enforced. Dawn to
Okay.
dusk is a moving target, now there's no
Why
moving
does
target.
that one, I think that one park should be just like all the rest. You can park there 24 hours. I
Okay,
don't think that there should be a problem. The
What
one
I
at
would
the
do-
beach, if you know,
I would pass that recommendation on to the gentleman sitting to your right, and tell him to bring that up in January.
no, I'm bringing it up right now.
Okay, you're timed out, man.
I think
Anybody
all
else have
those
any?
trucks should be moved out.
I'm sorry?
I think all the trucks should be moved out of the
What
parking
park?
lot. By the
The rent trucks and everything?
Yeah.
I mean, I just think you're kind of breaking your own law. You guys.
The law's already been
So
broken, we're
now,
trying to tighten it
basically,
up.
all these street things are going on, or so forth, and when they're parking stuff in that lot, which they use it all the time. So that's gonna be excused as well, like every time you're gonna turn around, you're gonna excuse those, I mean,
Here's
seriously.
what I'm gonna tell you, I'll jump in
The beach
side.
parking lot, fine, if you wanna do that one,
Love you more than life itself, but I'm not talking about parking. Anybody else got anything else they wanna talk about? Here or home, by the way. Anybody else got anything they wanna talk about? Love everybody.
I just wanna make sure the 4 of you agree that when I'm parking over there, I better not get a ticket
You
when
better
I
not.
sit down.
Better
Should
not.
not be parking.
And if you do, call Mayor Rick.
Cause I just had to park there.
He'll take care of it, or send Dale a letter, you got a letter.
Oh, yeah. You'll get
You gotta give them full
There
time.
you go. Right,
Don't
just
shake
make
your
sure
head
I'm.
at me, don't shake your head at me, because that's a really important situation to me. I think that's a little insulting that you're doing that.
What's the matter?
Nothing,
Okay.
again,
Close the public
I
hearing.
totally disagree with it.
Okay. Please, final reading.
Yeah, make the.
Ordinance by title, ordinance 16-25, an ordinance amending chapter 3-13 of the Borough Code concerning permitted parking at public parks of the borough.
I'll offer it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Briano,
Yes.
Councilmember DeRigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-25 has been properly adopted.
16-26, you want to speak to, let us know what that is, and then we'll open up that public hearing.
This establishes comprehensive regulations for tow truck operators.
Okay.
It pertains to police tows when the police summons a tow truck operator. The borough did not have an ordinance in place which established standards for the tow truck operators. Required background checks, required license fees, had a rotating list of towers available. And just say that we worked extensively with Chief Blewett and his police department has to be an understatement, but now you have a comprehensive towing regulation ordinance that applies to police tows when they contact them.
And is it fair to say it mirrors the similar towns around us and gives a better opportunity? Okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns on 1627? I apologize, 1626. We basically set up background checks and other things like that for people that are doing police tows. Seeing none, I'll close that. 1626, I'll offer.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Briano,
Yes.
Councilmember DeRigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-26 has been properly adopted.
1627, I believe we're changing the fees for the sale or distribution of alcoholic beverages in the borough. Not that that happens, but go ahead, Rob.
You're permitted by statute to increase the fees by up to 20%, up to a certain cap. I believe it's 2,500, and you can increase it to 20% but not exceed 500. Don't believe they've been increased for some time across the board.
I don't remember the last time personally.
Yeah, so across the board, they're all 20% plenary retail consumption, plenary retail distribution, and club license are all increased by 20%.
I'm pretty sure they're making a decent profit. I'll open 16-27. Anybody have any questions or concerns about the alcohol beverage distribution or sale license fees going up? I don't think they've been replaced, maybe some, raised either, personally. I was going to say that in the same.
I don't really have a problem with the raising of the fees, but it says the provisions of this subsection with respect to the limitation on the number of licenses shall not apply to the renewal or transfer of licenses presently issued. So does that mean when the present licenses renew, they will not be charged the new fee?
This is not a change from the existing ordinance, that language that you're reading. There's no change whatsoever.
But does that mean that, Deborah? Is it just new licenses, or are we
This
going
applies
to
to the years.
It says renewal or transfer. shall
I think we
not-
want it to be for renewals too, correct? I mean, I know that's what I thought. It's no big deal, we have to vote it down, we'll do another.
Yeah, we could, if that's what the body wants to do.
I'm gonna make a motion that we deny, I guess, vote this down and bring it back with the correct verbiage. Thank you, Ms. Bucko, to add that as far as the conditional reviews also.
Just understand that's what the ordinance always was in place.
I'm not faulting anybody, I'm glad you pointed it out, because if that's a technicality we agree on, how many new licenses are we gonna put out there?
Exactly.
1, 2, maybe if we love this in 5 years. I will offer to, not vote on it, I guess, right? To,
Vote it down.
table, vote this down and reissue a new one?
I'll second
Oh,
it.
yeah, they can just amend it.
No, we,
No, we can't. It needs to be done.
wait,
Wait.
it talks about the limitation on number of licenses should not apply to renewal. It doesn't say that for the fee. So if you read it literally, it will apply to renewal.
You sure?
The provisions of this subsection respect the limitation on number of licenses shall not apply to the renewal or transfer of licenses presently issued. It has nothing to do with the fee, and that's probably why it was in there.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it wouldn't have been that way before either.
So you're okay with this legally? Okay. So I'll ask again, it sounds like Lucas is gonna go through this, we've got our ducks in a row. Any other questions on this? No, everybody's good. Close the public portion, I'll offer 1627.
And this is to approve.
To approve, yes, because we have, it sounds like we have our verbiage correct, this should be, the spirit of this was to not just have new, clearly we're not gonna have many new, but all the renewals also. So yes, I'll offer that.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Briano,
Yes.
Councilmember DeRigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yeah.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes, please.
Ordinance number 16-2727 has been properly adopted.
Okay, 16-28, I know this is nothing new. I'd like to, if you can, Brian, just speak to the specifics of this, briefly. This is the new Bayman lease.
Correct.
I know that Doug had some information on this and was heavily involved in this, so if he's in his absence, can you fill in?
Absolutely. We were involved in extensive discussions with the Bamans throughout the year.
And in fairness to you, more than a year than you've been here, but.
Right.
Go ahead.
In the time that I was here, the entire time I've been here.
Yep.
And essentially, we've come to terms of an agreement of a new lease with the Bamans. There will be a 10-year lease with 3 5-year renewals, so it will be a maximum of 25 years.
And whose option is the renewal? The borough or both?
It's not an automatic renewal.
Okay.
There are certain contingencies contained therein where there will be inspections of the premises paid for by both parties to make sure they're complying with all of their
Regulatory compliances and things like
Correct.
that.
And from the terms of the lease, the rent is fixed at $7,500 per month for the first 3 years. Then after year 3, there's a consumer price index. It will increase based upon what's called the CPI. If the CPI decreases, the rent will not decrease. There's also going to be a payment in lieu of tax of $1,200 per month, which is also going to be part of the rent. And also, if they sell more than 20 million clams in any one calendar year, the borough will get 0.002 cents per clam sold above and beyond the 20 million. Now, there are also provisions contained within the lease for increase and enhanced reporting. The Bamans will be providing quarterly reports to the borough, reports such as the number of clams that have been sold, the amount of money paid to the Bamans. They have to comply with the statutory requirements as far as reporting yearly to the borough administrator. There are built-in incentives in the lease as well. If they increase their capacity, they get a 1% rent reduction for every 10% increase in capacity, because that benefits both parties up to a cap of 10% rent decrease. They're going to, representatives, they're going to have a new counting procedure outside the building, and they're going to get credit of up to $50,000 spread out during the entire course of the lease if they install that new counter.
We talked about that.
And again, it's supposed to be the latest and greatest counting equipment outside, and that's to protect now that you have counting coming in. And there's various other incentives for them if they want to enhance the building, the bulkhead, things like that. There's all kinds of incentives in the credit in there. So essentially, in a nutshell, the rent it's spelled out in the ordinance. There's increased reporting, and that's essentially the terms of the lease.
And Brock, refresh my memory and for the benefit of the people who weren't here. Didn't we, right before we introduced this at the last meeting, didn't we have a study come back saying that the capacity was going to be higher than
Yeah,
now?
DEP had indicated that they expect the amount of clams to increase significantly in the next few years. Now, the numbers have gone down since Sandy.
Sure.
From what I recall, the Bamans were over the 20 million threshold before Sandy. They haven't reached that number since, but DEP, the report that came out, felt confident in the next few years that it will increase now with the number of clams.
Without doing any long-term effect on the beds or anything like that going forward, if I remember correctly.
Right. That
Okay.
was a very favorable report.
So all those positive things you talked about, we didn't have in the last 20-year lease. And what was the rent currently?
It's about half of what it was about 3,800.
Plus all the
It's
incentives.
48,000 in that range, and no CPI increases, and the payment of the tax was $500. So, but that was a very old lease.
Oh, yeah,
too,
it was
so.
20, I think it was 20 years old, if I'm not mistaken, maybe longer, at least 20. Okay, at 1628, any questions on that public portion?
Well, I did have a question, but I think that it's been solved.
Okay, you sure?
Except, no, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Except, who's gonna keep track of this?
Keep track of the whole thing?
Yeah, like, for example, are they going, when they sell them, are they going to get a receipt from the buyer to turn in? In other words, how do we know if they're gonna sell 10 bushels and only gonna pay for 5?
They have requirements to the state that they have to report, and they also have requirements built into the lease that they have to provide reports to the borough administrator, and the borough administrator is responsible for enforcing the terms.
See, there was none of that in the old, thank you, sir. There was none of that in the old lease, and the hardest part, to be honest with you, it got a lot better the last year and a half. Before that, and I'm not blaming either party, it was a very adversarial, closed conversation where you couldn't even get any information. And I understand that they had some issues with, some of the people that were on the council at the time a year and a half ago, some before, whatever the case was. So The good news is, it sounds like there's a different attitude, if you will, and there's a lot more of stuff they have to report as part of the lease. It was never, we could never really do anything because it wasn't in the last lease. Now it's kind of spelled out, as well as the county.
Right, by way of example, quarterly reporting is gonna be number of clams harvested and reported to the state, number of batemen harvesting each quarter, and total payments from JT White to the batemen. So there's
So the
increase.
state inspectors will also be.
Well, they have their own obligations with the state.
And they have to file them with them. I think it's a daily filing thing, correct, Rob?
I'm not sure if it's daily or
It's at least
not,
once a month, though.
but there's definitely.
They have to put some, at some point out there, they have to put out there to the state what they're doing. And now it's part of the requirement that we know what they're doing as part of the lease, which wasn't in the last one. But I wasn't here 20 years ago, so. One me.
I was just gonna ask Carol, in the press release that we were gonna put out, can we put some of those positive nuggets in there? Because it was kind of just.
Like bullet points.
They're supposed to, yeah, they'll come
Yeah.
back to,
Okay. I wasn't
Brian,
sure, where it
Aiden.
was generated from, so I'm like, maybe we could put these positive nuggets so people, people understand what makes it so special. Because if you're not in the loop, you go.
I think it's definitely a positive step in the right direction, and it's more than we had in the past, no question. So, and again, Doug was here, I thank him again for being the most involved out of the table. Let's close the public portion. 16-28, I'll offer it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please, sir.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember DiRigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes, please.
Ordinance 16-28 has been properly adopted.
Great job, everybody. Joint committee meeting review.
Okay, last week I had a meeting with the Communications Committee, Environmental Commission, and Green Team in a joint effort to do a number of things. First off is to get some information out there about, I know it's not a sexy subject, but garbage pretty much, and our recycling and how our recycling is mixed up with our garbage and vice versa. And sometimes when M&S comes to pick people's trash up, it's all just spilling out together, and that's why they're not picking up trash. Also, they're being turned away at the dump because our recyclables are mixed up. I mean, our mandatory recyclables are all mixed up with the regular trash.
Garbage.
And it's ending up costing the town a lot of money because then they have to go back again and get everything dumped. Also, the more recyclables that we put into our trash they're raising our tipping fee. So what we could be getting back with recycling products we're not getting back, we're paying more to dispose of things that we shouldn't be disposing of in the first place. A lot of long-winded stuff, but we're gonna get some informational material out to people, not just on the website, but through mailers. I spoke with Steve from the Environmental Commission.
Good resource, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Working with the administrator on this, also Valerie Montecago and Cynthia Fair have offered their assistance and just getting something out that's town-wide, that's consistent, that you can put on your refrigerator and just be better informed.
I would tell you that I think you're right, it's not the first thing everybody looks at and says, oh my God, but it's the meat and potatoes, it's a part of
When
it.
it comes down to how much money per
Correct.
month we're spending on tipping fees on things that shouldn't
Nobody would
be
even
there,
think
it's
about
crazy.
that, so you're right,
It's a lot of
that's definitely something we look at, thank you for handling that. We have the Highlands Business Partnership schedule next. I know that's pretty standard stuff, we all have a copy of it, I don't think there's anything it's all good stuff, I don't think there's much that's, changed, they're adding some events the last few years, right?
Yeah.
Which is great, right, I don't mean to minimize it, I just think nothing surprised us, let's say that, right? All the stuff that they've been doing and adding.
From the resolution it says.
Yeah. So, that's great. There's a copy available, I assume, online and at the Borough Hall.
Yes.
or trailer. Proclamation for the 85th anniversary of Highlands Elementary School, which we had prepared here, we'll send up to the school. We had spoken to a few of the folks up there, and I know that they couldn't make it down, but some of us went to a event they had a week or so ago, or 2 weeks ago, I think it was the night of the last meeting, right? Yeah. And it was really nice, they had a history of it, all of you that have been here know Nina, she used to be our clerk years ago, and she gave a little speech, and I think that they're doing a great job up there as far as academics also. My son goes up there, I know Becky's son's up there too, and I think they're doing a good job, and the proclamation basically states, congratulations and an achievement of recognizing their 85th anniversary, and we'll have it sent up, I guess, to the school tomorrow. We have the Rutgers Landscape Architectural Design and Build Project. Who's speaking of that?
That would be me.
Okay.
Okay, we've been approached by Rutgers for them to do another studio project for our town, which would have to be a 3-phase process, and it would include at no cost to the town to deconstruction of a current home, wooden structure, sorry, that is slated for demolition. And they would take this apart, and then in the second part of the project, they would reuse materials in some sort of a green building structure, small temporary or low impact, either park structure or something, or some other type of thing that they could build, like a raised planting bed that's near an area that constantly flooded. So when the stormwaters come, it'll just be another way for the earth to absorb the water. And also to do some plantings with native species that are water lovers rather, so they'll absorb more of the stormwater. I've already reached out to Dave Mercado, and he's looking into 2 possible properties where this could be done. So in one studio where we're not paying for anything and there's no cost to us, we could get rid of an abandoned structure, and then we could also do what we can to show what one taking down this one structure could do to also help us with flood mitigation.
And all the connecting publicity in a positive way,
Absolutely.
obviously. I know I was here, I don't know, I think Becky was here too, the last time they came in, right after Sandy. And they did a study of Valley to Vets, I guess it was. I think that was met with a lot of positive input from the town and the people that were involved. I don't have any problem with it. Oh, that you good?
I'm good.
Carolyn,
No,
I think you're good
I
with
think
it?
it's good.
Okay, so we're going to vote, we're all going forward for it, what was it?
I'll reach out to the professor.
Thank you very much for bringing it to the table. Public portion. Ms. Buckham,
Well,
I'm keeping this for the record. Take it home.
contrary to public opinion, the people from the Hill do come downtown every now and again, and they're very concerned about all the paving that is going on. And I said,
Like street paving?
yeah, I said that it was the gas company that's paying for it, am I correct in that?
Well,
That they were supposed to pave it after they
Yeah,
finished.
the majority of it.
Majority of it.
Majority of it.
there were certain things
Well,
we knew we
what
had to
about
do.
the water company that tore up Bay Street?
Okay,
They're still waiting for that to be paved.
I think someone has an update. We talked recently, I saw an email on this, no?
I haven't seen it.
Maybe it was, not the council. You have any update on that, Brad?
I just got a list from Dale about streets that, in order to, so we can come up with a plan,
Yeah.
how we're gonna
You know what I
start.
was talking about, we had the incident up on the hill, obviously.
Yeah, they offered 25,000 towards the surface, which isn't going to do much for that road. So basically, the challenge is to come up with the rest of the funding to do the road the right way.
What are we looking at again, dollar and cents?
But over 3.
300,000?
Yeah.
And that's been something that I know we've told those folks up on the hill, that we were going to take through, at least to give them some kind of answer, and I don't think we've done that clearly.
Right.
No.
People are asking
How
about it.
much have we spent on the roads downtown? I
How
don't
much
know.
are we spending
How
on
much,
that?
what's our portion of what we're spending?
Uh,
I thought it was about 20% of the overall, but I could be wrong.
yeah, I mean, over the years, you've done a lot on the hill. You've done some downtown. The latest program.
Well, like the latest stuff downtown.
Yeah, the latest stuff
majority-
downtown was 1.3, I think, between the what was paid this year with Shrewsbury North and Shore.
So obviously that's
How
something we have
come,
to,
how come the water company didn't pay more for up there?
because you gotta fight and litigate them basically.
You had to fight them to get anything out of them.
We have another issue right now, I don't wanna say where, what, or how, but the same type of scenario happened. The person on the scene told 2 of our people, yes, this is this entity's fault, no doubt about it. When they got back to the office, somebody did and it wasn't their fault, and now the next course of action is happening. We talked about it in executive, so I can't, give the specifics, but it's not, Rick will tell you, he's been up here 10 years plus, it happens a lot, and you have to hold them to the fire. And the other case we're talking about is only a couple $1,000s, but it's a point, we open the door now, it's just gonna keep being picked up.
Well, see, the problem is, people have promised them that it's going to be done.
Understand?
And it's like, I hate to do this, Becky, but it's like Frank Pallone, it's a promise me, He promises you the world and gives you nothing, so. That's just my opinion.
I don't know about that, I'm not gonna drag anyone that's not in here on either side of the fence or in the middle of the fence, but, I'm I'm not gonna go to bat for anybody either or knock them down, but the reality is, you are correct. This table, in its current, set of people, has said that we were gonna look at that, and I know there was emails that went back and forth, and obviously nothing's happened, so we have to come up with a plan of action here, folks, and not gonna do it
Just give
tonight,
them
but-
something. I mean,
Well, worst case scenario, it has to be
besides lip
communication.
service, now you're giving them lip service and they really need to see a little more than that.
But there's a drainage problem on that road, not just.
It's, there has to be a major
Right, that's what's driving some of the
do-over,
costs.
if you will, at that point, and that's why it's $300,000.
Right. The profile's shot, it's incorrect the way it drains right now. There's no drainage on the, we'll call it the southeast portion of it. So I mean, because it sheet flows into everybody's property. I mean, there's different ways you can cut some of the costs. I'll go into that now, but there's ways to where you can minimize, some of the costs up there. Just
But I think they gotta have that conversation right away with the new council.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I would recommend we send a correspondence, the players up there,
Mhm.
obviously, I know you've been talking to them, like this week, if you can, and say, listen, this is what we're doing, and we have to, just so that they know that we didn't forget about them, they're not left by the wayside.
And I think that's something just, on another note, just for 2017, something I would like to see is like, okay, where are we at with our engineering projects, and what do we wanna see done, and what's the priority, and then what's the funding available, so like, who's next, how long has this been outstanding, which one needs to be bumped up, that kind of stuff.
We can
I'm
take
not sure
things,
how
what we try to do, take things from, even if they were overall, the entity, I wouldn't even say the name that was here was involved after the storm, and we hired them to do certain things. In the end, they really didn't do what we thought they would do, but they were really good at reporting back to the table statuses. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So you would get monthly reporting back, but, in the end, it was kind of the same stuff, but that's probably what should happen to your point. And I would probably do it, sometime in between the first and second meeting. Sure.
Just so there's clear and defined definition, this is what we want done, and then obviously,
Because they were really good at
Pat
doing
would
that.
have to get involved to say yay or nay.
Right.
Dale just handed me the preliminary list of streets and what kind of work needs to be done. So we've already been starting to work on that so we can create a plan.
I think the
going
key though,
forward.
especially with, hot button issues like the one, if someone says, I got bumps in the road, that's one thing. This road on the hill, we've definitely had at least, and probably before you were here, this year, we've had communication with them and we kept, I don't wanna say put the carrot out there, but we kept telling them this was gonna happen, that was gonna happen, and they might have happened, but we didn't communicate that back to them. So we have to do that going forward, so. That's it? Okay, I will motion to adjourn. Thank you, everybody. I just want to say, it's been a great 10 years. Thank you, everybody, past and present, council people, as well as our professionals, and clearly our employees. And, we had some heated exchanges. I think we were all, professional. I hope we were to each other. And it's been a great 10 years, but I'm satisfied. Thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad.